Hi there, how's it going? This is Amin Chamani and we are here to talk about and enjoy football. Football has always been my passion since I can remember and I love to share all this excitement with you. Welcome to my channel. What I want to talk to you about today is an incident that happened recently which could destroy the soul of football, and how money and capitalism was about to kill all the beauty in football. Actually, this wasn't on my schedule, but I felt the need to talk to you about it, and so I squeezed it in. So let's start from the basics. Many of you probably know already, but I'm gonna mention anyway. UEFA, the Union of European Football Associations, is basically FIFA's sub-branch in Europe continent, and the most popular tournament held in Europe every year is UEFA Champions League, which is between 32 best European football clubs each year. All European clubs try their best to get qualified for this tournament, and that would be an honor for small clubs to just play in this tournament. The story of how these clubs get chosen for playing in this tournament is going to be in another video for our beginner football fans, so don't worry or get confused. What I want to discuss today is something completely different. Champions League is so admired by football fans that the final match of this tournament is the most watched game played between clubs each year. Certainly, this encourages many television networks to buy broadcasting rights of such games, which in case of Champions League, these media rights could be around $2.4 billion. This is going to be paid to UEFA. UEFA then pays some amounts of money as prizes to the teams depending on how well they do. This could be up to $130 million to the champion. UEFA also receives more money from sponsors and other sources. They will spend it on smaller clubs, maybe developing football in poor countries, or women's football. From a couple of years ago, some great clubs started giving interviews claiming more money, since in their opinion, UEFA was earning a lot and giving them so little. The whole story back then was limited to demanding more money, which UEFA announced that it is considering better rewards for clubs from 2024. Our story begins on April 18, 2021, when 12 wealthy football clubs, under Florentino Perez's leadership, president of Real Madrid, decided to form European Super League. 6 of these 12 clubs were from England, including Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Tottenham Hotspur. 3 of them were from Spain, including Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. And the rest 3 of them, which were AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Juventus, were from Italy. There were actually supposed to be 15, but Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, and Paris Saint-Germain refused to join. Let's see what they even mean by Super League. In this system, these same 12 clubs were aimed to play with each other every year in another league instead of playing in Champions League. As you may guess, the main purpose of doing so is to earn more money, a lot more money. For instance, the DAZN Sport streaming service made a suggestion of $3.5 billion for covering their games, and JP Morgan Bank was ready to invest money on that and even made a suggestion paying $300 million to each of that clubs as compensation for the damage COVID-19 caused them. What do you want more as a businessman? Only few hours had passed from Super League official announcement. UEFA began confronting them seriously. It threatened banning these clubs from their domestic leagues, eliminating them from their own leagues. This wasn't all though. UEFA also said that the players playing in these 12 clubs are banned from their own national teams. Such a response was expected from them, as the plan was going to cause UEFA a huge financial loss. This war for money, though, didn't have the slightest importance for fans. The day after this, fans began complaining for several reasons. The majority were concerned about the elimination of these 12 clubs from their domestic leagues. Their own country league. A game between Manchester United and Real Madrid could be so exciting. But what about the fans of smaller teams? They love to watch a match between their team and one of those 12 huge clubs. A small team which its income roughly equals the annual salary of one player in those teams. Getting involved in a challenge which sometimes even might result in their victory. This is the beauty of football, which you are able to win from huge beasts of the world by hard work, passion and determination only, regardless of the amount of money you have. This is what Leicester City did on 2015-16 England League and became the champion. Even 6 of those 12 clubs were competing then for championship. All clubs in Europe, as I said, try their best and work hard to get inside the next year's Champions League. Super League formation was preventing this from happening and was ruining the pleasure of playing in Champions League for those teams. Presence of 12 rich clubs every year in a league without even a slightest attempt to earn it can only be as a result of pure greed of their owners. Some were so disturbed by the idea of eliminating the players from their own national team. Just imagine what a disaster could happen to the World Cup. This is an event you might only be able to witness 15 to 20 times in your whole life. I think it loses its meaning without the presence of top players fighting for their own national teams wholeheartedly, having no financial expectations as there is none. Yes, you heard me right. In case you didn't know, they don't pay national players any salary. Soon enough, former football players and critics were furiously criticizing the decision. Gary Neville, a Manchester United former player who is a critic now, said that he's disgusted of this decision and knows it as absolute greed. Or Rio Ferdinand, another former Manchester United player, stated that what they are doing is waging a war against football just because of money. What touched me the most among all of these was a placard of Chelsea protester fan saying we want our cold nights in Stoke, which references the bad weather of a small city of England, referring to the football allurement, meaning its achievements are not supposed to be earned easily. UEFA's president Alexander Chefering getting so agitated to the point of offending some club managers by calling them snakes or liars seems more than just being concerned for football fans to me. As we all know, an immense loss of money was going to happen to UEFA since the greatest European tournament, the UEFA Champions League, was going to be meaningless without presence of those 12 clubs. Making the fans their companions by provoking them and motivating protests, in my point of view, was a clever move that might have been planned beforehand, while rumors around such an incident was spreading. Who knows? Another interesting aspect of it to me was the silence of 12 clubs, current players and coaches. Actually, no one was leaking a single controversial opinion about this, as like they were warned not to. Of course, players and coaches have contracts with their clubs and professionally they can take opposite direction of what the manager requires. But I expect more. Guardiola, the Manchester City's coach, though, was the first one speaking up, demonstrating their disagreement with Super League. He said it's not a sport when there's no relation between effort and success. It's not a sport when it doesn't matter if you lose. I personally have lots of respect for him and I think he's a man of integrity. The same night though, less than 2 days after the announcement of Super League, Manchester City was the first team who withdrew from the Super League. And following this, 5 other England clubs withdrew as well. There are 2 theories explaining the reason behind the withdrawal of England clubs. First, we have to know the England Premier League is the most profitable league in Europe, and indeed their club's need of money is less than other countries' clubs. Second reason is the statement of Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of United Kingdom, who emphasized the serious consequences the club are going to face in case of joining Super League. Wow. Well, let me just quickly mention that England Premier League definitely plays a role in their economy, and the government receives around $3 billion a year just from the taxes clubs have to pay. Obviously, this has gotten political since Emmanuel Macron, the French president, showed his disapproval too. Politics, of course, has to stay out of football. This is an accepted principle, but FIFA and UEFA could certainly look the other way exceptionally, as politicians were on the same side as them when they desperately needed them. Other clubs declared their withdrawal on the same night, except a few like Real Madrid or Barcelona. Club managers then began apologizing to the fans and their teams for the concerns they caused. Liverpool's CEO published a video, Arsenal tweeted, or Manchester City sent an email to the supporters, and so on. Eventually, the Super League was announced not to be continued, while Florentino Perez, remember him as Super League's chairman, was interviewed about the decision. He claimed this was a genuine plan to save clubs from bankruptcy, since they were getting broke due to the pressure COVID pandemic has put on them. Now plans to increase clubs' income is definitely a positive trend, which makes even fans happy, since they want nothing except success for their favorite club. Money can provide clubs better players, better opportunities, and at the end, better chances for being a champion in different tournaments. Yet it matters a lot what the plan actually is, at which cost this money is being produced, and if this is bringing more benefits than harm. As Eric Cantona, the former French player, said, forming this Super League and abandoning the Champions League, it's not something you decide on doing suddenly. It has to be discussed and agreed by fans first. You have to know what makes them happy. What I want to say is that making more money is not something that matters to fan on its own. This alone doesn't add any charm or motivation to football. UEFA, on the other hand, has a responsibility to be more perspicacious about the expenses and comprehensive of what clubs ask for, in my opinion. As Jurgen Klopp, the current Liverpool's head coach and one of my other favorite coaches, has said that the best thing is to negotiate between clubs and UEFA or FIFA to find the best way for football, for fans. The Super League case was closed eventually only after 2 days of getting opened. In today's world of capitalism, we don't often witness passionate love overpower money and being heard and noticed by financially powerful centers. But as I mentioned, this is football. The sport originated from the people of the street, and it's always going to be theirs. I hope. As money is becoming more and more powerful in the world we are living in today, such an incident was very likely to happen sooner or later. A world war inside football. Regardless of Super League's closure for now, football lovers can sense the horrifying and overgrowing threat of greed and power thirst to what they love. Football is popular, and unfortunately, that's what makes it a prey. This is for today's video, guys. Please let me know in the comments what's your opinion about the Super League, and if you have any interesting additional information, I love to learn from you. Thank you for watching to this point. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos about football. Have a nice day. Bye.